Okay, so now that we've got the basic talking heads mixed down to a good balance there, and we've also taken and balanced all the B-roll clips down to somewhere between -24 and -18, now we're going to play back both of these tracks and balance the B-roll sound to the on-camera sound of each of these politicians talking to the media. Now we've already got all of the politicians in a good range here, so we're just going to push this up so we don't even need to see the waveforms and whatnot. We're going to bring this down so we can get a better detail of what we're doing here, and we're also going to add some customization to this track header here. So we're just going to right click and go customize, and what we're going to add here is we're going to add the keyframes that we can raise and lower the volume with, and also the track volume control, and we should be good to go with those things. So let's go ahead and say OK. Now what we have the ability to do now is turn on the keyframes, and we're going to do the track keyframes. Now the clip keyframes show the keyframes for each individual track. So we could add keyframes, but we've already done that. We've raised them as entire clips. We're not going to go and set keyframes inside each one of these clips. We're going to keep each clip at the level that we have already set. So what we do need to do, however, is raise the keyframes for the track as a whole. So what we do need to do, however, is raise the keyframes for the track as a whole. But before we do that, let's go through and add some basic transitions that are going to help the transitions in and out of these various cuts. Let's zoom in right here and we'll take a look at the first one. What we've got going on here is this first shot of Storm is coming in just as Governor Bush is about to talk. So let's slide over here and get our audio, our effects. Let's close up the presets, video transitions, and we're going to go to our audio transitions and get our crossfade, and we're going to go constant gain. So let's just take this and drop it right on here so we get a nice constant gain, and let's just trim it so the actual fade starts just as the video starts coming in. Well, we can start a little bit before the video comes in, so we get a little transition coming into the audio from the politicians.
Yesterday, I signed an executive.
Then we're going to do the same thing here on the other side coming into this.
And this declaration is helping the emergency management team.
And then between each one of these. Now, we may not want them to be a full second here, that's the default. So we're going to double click and set this one to 15 frames. And these here that are between the clips, we'll do that for all these. So center it on the cut here. And we'll make this be 15 frames. Slide on down. And as we're going out, let that be a full second. And a full second coming in. Now between these, in order to make it, we need to add some handles here. So we're going to double click this one to load it up in here for a second. And instead of using the entire clip, we're going to come back 15 frames minus 15. Set a new out point there. See that trims that up a little bit. And then double click the head end of this. And go in 15 frames, set a new endpoint, and then we'll snap these back together like this. Then we'll be able to put a transition between them with no trouble. Centered right there on the cut at 15 frames. Okay, then again, let's bring this one on the tail end, and we'll shorten this one up too. This one here. Just keep that going. And since this is kind of short, go ahead and put 15 frames on each one of these. double click. We need to trim off 15 frames off the end of this one. Oh, no, we actually have some frames on this one we could probably use. So there's, no, drop some off of this one, so double click. Let's get 15 frames off the beginning of this, so plus 15. So endpoint. Let's put this back in here. So keep doing this till we're done. Click, 15 frames. Just again. Click, 15 frames. Now, we gotta see if we need to trim these up at all. And yes, we do. This one here too. Put one on the end while we're there. 15 frames of that one as well. Now this one we need to trim the end of. So let's come down. Oh, we got a couple frames here to work with. This one we need to trim the front end. Plus 15. Just slide this one this way. Slide this one this way just a little bit. 100 frames over here, so we take some in here, minus 15. So out point. And these are the last ones. Here. One down on the end. Here. Make some frames there, so let's double click. And let's just go back 10 frames on this one. So we're at out point. And we'll go 10 frames in from the beginning of this one. So we'll go end point. And we'll put these together. And throw our transition in there. 15 frames. Okay, let's save it up. Set our backslash key. And let's see what we got here.
Yesterday, I signed an executive order that declared a state of emergency in Florida, and this declaration is helping the emergency management teams across the state. The major threat from Hurricane Irene continues to be rainfall.
South Florida has received between 6 to 8 inches of rain already from the system, and it's possible we could see an additional 10 to 15 inches of rainfall.
I think the big thing that we'll be focused on here, obviously, as the tornadoes, but the big thing will be the flooding.
Big threat for most people in South Florida is the rain, but not on the West Coast. They'll certainly get the rain, but the big threat there is the storm surge.
Now's the time to ask people to please put themselves and their families out of harm's way, get in a safe location, and ride this storm out.
We made it through the night, so we thank the Lord for that.
And that takes care of it.